thank you very much for your time. Tell us about these COVID-19 measures that warranted shutting down residences.
Just for context, I just need to stress that there were no evictions. The process was followed, as you mentioned, for residences to be vacated as part of the preparations for an interim COVID-19 vaccination policy, which takes effect from the 3rd of January. So the health and safety of our students and staff are of paramount importance to the University of the Western Cape. Therefore, an approach of integrated COVID-19 planning and implementation has been taken. In line with this, the decision by the UWC COVID-19 response task team was that all UWC residences would be closed from the 17th of December. That was on Friday. The task team circulated a notice on the 2nd of December informing students and campus community of the need for residences to be vacated.
So tell us why residences are being vacated for the time being. Is that because from the new year, only students who have been vaccinated will be allowed to return to those residences?
That's correct. And I have to say that it was a consultative process. It took months for the university to reach out to all its stakeholders and took the temperature of both students and staff and all stakeholders about the approach the university was to take. It was decided then by the council of the university on the 25th of November this year that it would apply an interim COVID-19 vaccination policy, and all students who need to access campus, therefore, and residences by implication, would need to be vaccinated.
So I'm assuming during that consultative process, all the relevant student representative bodies were part of that process. You also said that a circular was distributed on campus on the 2nd of December. Were notices also put up in the residences themselves to alert students of the coming shutdown?
Yeah, so we've got an organization called Res Life on campus that looks after all the residences, and those Res Life also spoke to the residence population of the campus. We have also made contingency measures for students, working with those students who are eligible for vacation accommodation, and we've negotiated delayed payment arrangements for categories of vulnerable students who by continuing to offer students opportunities to vacate their rooms and including shuttles to transport them there. So it's also important to know that the Student Representative Council is part of Council, and they were part and parcel of the decision taken in Council on the 25th of November. So the communications were quite clear and explicit. Access to residents for 2022 will be in line with the procedures of the policy. And that policy will be reviewed within the following semester in 2022, because as you know, the COVID regulations and the situation with a talk of a fourth wave makes the situation very fluid.
So what would you say to reports that some students on returning to the residence found that they had been barred access from their rooms? Some students saying in media reports that they had locked themselves in their rooms to prevent being shut out of the residence. Obviously, there's always some stragglers on any campus that are busy with other things. Maybe the circular, the notice did not get to them. But what is your response and the university's response to those reports?
I think the communication went up quite regularly and also at a very micro level to all the different on-campus and off-campus residences through our partners at Res Life. So there was clear communication. I think to give it a little bit of perspective, there are about 2,500 resident students at UWC. And of those, there are about 50 students who didn't comply with the directive. There weren't any evictions. There was no force used. Students were allowed to pack up very peacefully and to take their personal belongings and their clothing and luggage. But the university is going the extra mile to accommodate those students who are eligible for vacation accommodation. And these were negotiated with preferable rates. So it's not like we're leaving students in the lurch, and even the payments. There's negotiations with the private landlords to defer or delay these payments to a later date.
Understandably challenging times as policies continue to change around the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That was Gasant Abarder, spokesperson for the University of the Western Cape.